Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. Today is Tuesday, July 22nd, and with me, I have two of my favorite co hosts with me. I chill and my favorite Taurus. Hey, y'all.
Hey, boo.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I think we have what I believe is some great tea for us to talk about. So, hell, let's just jump right into it.
Well, let's get that tea time.
Yes. Now, the first story I have to share, honey, is by way of all hip hop, where it talks about cash out. I don't know if y'all have seen this on y'all timelines yet, but I actually woke up to this because, like a responsible adult, I actually went to bed early last night. So I woke up like early and it was just kind of browsing the timeline. And this was one of the first things that I saw. And I said, "Excuse me?" And baby, it's, ugh, child. But rapper Cash Out. Cash Out, he actually, so this article says he thanks the judge after receiving life in prison plus 70 years on a RICO charge. And baby, the stuff that he did, y'all mouth is gonna fall to the floor. 'Cause first of all, it takes a lot to shock a bitch like me. After reading this, I was floored, honey.
Well, life plus
So this is
70
Cash
years.
Out right here.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And you gonna see exactly why. And he deserves all 70 of them.
Oh, okay.
So Cash Out was sentenced to life in prison plus 70 years by a Fulton County judge after being convicted on multiple charges tied to a sex trafficking ring that prosecutors say he led across metro Atlanta. The former rapper, born John Michael Hakeem Gibson, was found guilty of rape, pimping, and aggravated sodomy. He was
Oh,
convicted on two, yes, girl, he was convicted on two sex trafficking counts and acquitted on a third. Additional charges, including sexual servitude and aggravated assault, were dismissed. The court ordered that the 70-year sentence run concurrently with the life term, meaning he will not serve additional time beyond the life term. Cash Out must also register as a sex offender, avoid contact with victims or their families, and stay away from several locations in Atlanta, including the Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor. I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time they put into judge this trial. The time being on this trial, I was able to see how the jurors are put in the tough position of sitting there and judge someone's life. And it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. I've done things in my life. I'm not perfect, but the things I've been accused of, I know I haven't done those things, Cash Out said. And get this, y'all, he was initially offered 25 years, but chose to take the gamble and take the case to trial and lost miserably.
the damn fool.
Right, girl. So during Monday's sentencing, yesterday, July 21st, victims and their families delivered emotional statements describing the trauma they endured. One woman said she felt disgusting and unlovable after being trafficked. Others spoke of long term effects, including PTSD, anxiety, and depression. The parents of one victim told the court that Cash Out used his celebrity status to manipulate and exploit. The case revealed a years long operation that prosecutors said functioned like a criminal enterprise. Authorities charged Cash Out under Georgia's RICO laws, typically used for organized crime, arguing he ran a for profit sex trafficking ring. More than 50 witnesses testified throughout the trial. Some women said they were raped and denied food unless they performed sex acts for money. Others said Cash Out and his mother took the money they earned.
Oh, not the mama.
The
Oh,
mama girl, we gonna get on her too. Prosecutors also presented video evidence from a prostitution sting to highlight the structured nature of the operation. And here's about Cash Out's mama. So Cash Out's mother, Miss Linda Smith, known as Mama Cash Out, was convicted of one trafficking charge but cleared of another and a prostitution count. She was hit with 30 years.
yes.
A third defendant, by the name of Tyrone Taylor, who I believe this is actually Cash Out's cousin, from what other reports have said, he was found guilty on all charges except pimping, including rape and aggravated sodomy.
Mm,
Taylor received life plus 70 years.
good.
Cash Out first rose to fame with the 2012 hit single Cashing Out, but had faded from the music scene by the time the investigation began in 2019. Baby, are y'all gagged?
Child. Ooh,
Look, we have a comment that's like the Black Beauty series. Look, y'all mess. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I'm not trying to be funny when I ask this question. I don't know who the fuck this is, but is this one of the Migos?
It is not.
Okay,
However, I guess could be confused because his music was like bumping at the same time the Migos was. So if you heard a Migos song, you most likely heard a Cash Out song like right after it. Got a candle on my wrist, girl. I'm cashing out. Hey.
Oh,
absolutely not.
wow.
So, yeah, 'cause I was like, oh, it's off-putting, and somebody has a okay. Thank you.
They offered him 25 years and he turned that down to go to trial. He's stupid. Stupid.
Look, he was cocky enough to think he could win it. He thought that
What he
he
thought?
really thought he was that dude.
What he thought? They wasn't going to testify against him? Or what did he think? Like, come on.
Maybe because from what I because he reading after reading all this and reading that response, that is a narcissist. He thanking the judge and then thanking the jury for a quote unquote fair trial or whatever, but then go say I am not this person they made me out to be or some other
Right.
bullshit.
Right.
Boy, bye.
I didn't do these things, but thank you. Okay. Yeah,
And
he's a
remember, we
fool.
talked on previous shows how hard it is for a jury to all agree on something when it comes to rape. So the fact that they've all agreed to convict him of this, you know, it had to be some egregious evidence this jury has seen.
Yes. Probably did way more than what they heard. Wow.
Yep. And they
Whew.
got his mama too. Mama Cash Out got to go to jail for 30 years.
And his cousin.
Hmm.
Lord have mercy.
So,
Well, okay.
well, does anyone else want to add anything else about this rapper that I seem to be the only one who knows?
Yeah, because I have never heard of this person.
And child, and unfortunately, the aggravator, the sodomy. I'm not even being. It's gonna sound like I'm joking, but I'm really not. But that actually really shook me to my core because first of all, this man, like some new pictures of him have leaked,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very, very, very well endowed. If you picking up what I'm putting
Yeah.
down, I
Yeah.
mean
He
that
hurt. He hurt them.
down to the knees, girl. So I know you forcing that in somebody. Oh no, ma'am. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's wild.
Go
Wow.
ahead, favorite Taurus.
I can't help. I guess it's just the timeline, but I can't help but to think, like, was he kind of influenced or motivated by the outcome of the Tootsie Roll trial that made him think that he could take things to trial and actually win? I'm very confused.
I don't know only because I think they started investigating Cash Out in 2019, and I think Diddy's investigation what came like sometime later.
Okay.
I think I think
Ye- Yeah, but his trial seemed to have happened. Um, maybe was it around the same time or after Diddy, or because this seemed like this just happened, right?
yep. This news just broke yesterday of his
Okay.
conviction.
Maybe they were on trial at the same time.
Hmm.
I know he's crazy. He's crazy. Maybe that's where his
Hmm.
brain is in his endowment. Because if he didn't take that 25 and look at him now, that's crazy.
Hmm.
And then
Well,
he
well,
could
you
have
know,
got out. You know, they don't usually serve the full sentence. He would have been out probably before 25 years. Mm,
stupid,
yeah, very much
a
so.
stupid rapist.
Mm, mm.
Well, speaking of other stupid rapists, excuse me, allegedly, Tyler Perry.
Oh boy.
So I have this article here from Vibe, and y'all see where it says Tyler Perry recalls firing an aunt who felt entitled to his money. Now, I will say, on the outside looking in, look, Tyler Top Perry, you a mess. On the outside looking in, so what he's saying may not seem like that bad to first of all, let me read because I feel like he's telling on himself in this article. But um Tyler Perry might have a $1.4 billion net worth, but when it comes to his family, he's not handing out free money. During the July 20th episode of Den of Kings, hosted by gospel icon Kurt Franklin, Perry joined Jeezy and Derek Hayes for a conversation that touched on legacy and tough love. About 17 minutes into the episode, Perry got real about drawing the line when it comes to financial entitlement from family members, which ultimately led to him firing his own aunt. She said she wanted a job. She will always call asking for money. I said, okay, I will send her the money, Perry recalled. But then I was like, listen, I want to help you. I want to help you build this thing, not be welfare to you. So let me give you a job. Okay, so that part is fine. I really didn't have anything, see anything wrong with that. But so according to the 55-year-old, his aunt treated the employment opportunity like an option and not a responsibility. She wouldn't come to work. So I'm like, okay, well, you got to go. You want me to hand you the money, but you don't want to work for it? See, that doesn't work for me. Working hard to earn your keep is a boundary that Perry has set across the board, even with his 10-year-old son, Amon. In the same conversation, the Straw director explained that Amon has chores and has to work for what he wants because he refuses to raise a child who thinks life is just about handouts. Back in December, he also told Sherry host Sherry Shepard that his son doesn't get showered with luxury gifts, but gets books, Legos, and even flies coach like everybody else. I don't believe in giving us things. I'm sorry. I don't believe in giving us things that are just going to handicap us, Perry said. That's the worst thing you can do. The conversation got even more personal when Perry opened up about life with his mother, Willie Maxine Perry, who passed away in 2009, excuse me. He told his family point blank that free handouts were going to stop. I gave them 60 days to be gainfully employed, he recalled, because I'm not going to keep supporting you like this. And according to Perry, they all got jobs. It wasn't even jobs where they're making a lot of money, but it was a job, he continued. It was something else for them to do, it was something else for them to do to feel some pride in. That's the same thing I would want somebody to do for me. He admitted that some relatives have gotten mad at him for not sliding them $1 million as if that's supposed to be a normal thing. At one point, Perry even warned co-guest Hayes to brace himself for similar run-ins with relatives who might test his boundaries when it comes to money. And then they have the interview here where you can look at it. Ain't nobody looking at this shit. So my thing is right. You know how what the guy who was on the Oval, I forget his name. I think it was Derek something, but he said that he invited dude Perry invited dude to his house, and pretty much was like, I'm paraphrasing, but like if you want to make it far, or if you want to do well with me, then do what I want you to do. That's the kind of energy I'm getting from him. And then for him to even say that, oh, I don't shower my son. Your son is 10. Like, are you kidding me? I don't want him to go through life thinking that life is about handouts. He's not going to think that anyway because he's black, and nobody's going to hand anything to him, even if he's Tyler Perry's son. So I hate this shit. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But anyway, I can go on about this forever. Go ahead, favorite tourist.
So there's one part of the story that's obviously and blaringly missing from this entire article from his statement, and that is what were the ways that he enabled this entitlement to begin with in order for him to set those boundaries. You
Wake
know,
that up.
like yeah, great great job for setting boundaries. However, it had to get to a certain point, get back to a certain point in order for you to have to set them. So how did you show up that kind of allowed those people to say, hey, I can go to Tyler Perry, my cousin, my uncle, my whomever, for some money, he'll just give it to us until he finally had to say stop, you know. So it sounds like it doesn't sound like there's definitely accountability on both ends, but he's just not speaking on his how the part that he played on, and only that he had to stop, you know. It's unfortunate, and I did watch. Well, naturally, I'm familiar with Tyler Perry and his story, and the things that he has endured from like what the public has known as was extremely traumatic, and it's just a shame that we are witnessing him still processing it with his wealth and as he progresses in life in real time. And that seems to be like a through line through everything that's
Mhm.
been going on is him still processing that childhood trauma, you know, which is unfortunate. However, it still is
Mhm.
heavily influencing how he shows up in the world and people that work for him, with him, and the alligators that came out recently and all that's it's just a through line that I just can't seem to not unsee.
Yes, yeah. You said that brilliantly. Go ahead, Chili.
I, I don't have a problem with not lavishing expensive items on your child when you're wealthy. Um, I think the problem comes when you don't set any boundaries for them, even though he's living in a probably a fabulous home and eating fabulous food and so forth. I think the problem comes in when you spoil your children, but you don't give them any character building um, things in their life. You just throw money at them, throw expensive stuff at them, and don't spend no time with them, and think that you're raising them. I don't. He's a billionaire. I don't think sharing that with your child is a bad thing. But you could teach your child that those things are a privilege. You're a privileged person. You know, I'm not. You're not gonna not go to college. I'm not gonna finance your life and put you up in an expensive apartment, and you're not gonna work and you're not gonna do anything in your life just because I have money. You can teach your children those things. I think that's where the disconnect comes in. Like
Mhm.
you're rich. Your kid, it's nothing wrong with flying first class. He's the son of Tyler Perry. So what? He's flying first class. He doesn't have to fly coach to teach him a lesson about thinking things are going to be handed to you. I, I I get what he's saying, but I think he's sort of the message is not
It's not making him
hold.
look good.
No, the holding back the money is not helping the message. You can do the message and still let him share, in the wealth. That's kind of crazy to me. That my dad's a billionaire, but I got to fly coach and just play with Legos. Like I don't have a what? I don't have a PS5. I don't have a. You know what I'm saying? Make sure
Mhm.
they do well in school, read some books. Yeah, that's nice. Read some books, do some learning, go to college, get a business degree, you know, learn how to work in his company with. There's lots of things he can do other than, holding back his wealth from his child. That's kind of crazy to me, but that's just how I think. Go ahead, Will.
So, and there was something else that was missing from this article that I had to go back and nest on. He spoke about the family members getting jobs, right? And then he also spoke about it doesn't have to be something um, lucrative, and it's quote unquote something that they should be proud of. Like that
N-
sounds
You
like a
see it right.
yeah, it sounds like an actual career, not necessarily just a job. And if this person has access and has been providing for these individuals, and he also has the ability to put them in position to earn those skills in said career field to become successful and get him off a payroll, get them off of his payroll. Very interesting. That's all I'll say.
You see it. I knew y'all would pick up what I was putting down, honey. The signs is there if we pay attention. And then,
Mhm.
of course, like, but what he said about his family and stuff like that. He's very corporate, and this man has his stance on unions. He's like very anti-union. So, look,
Well,
one
he
plus one is two.
he didn't come from money. I mean, he slept in his car before he became who he is today. He struggled to be this person.
Hmm.
So I imagine there are people in his family who are probably not far away from, where he was. They
Hmm.
didn't get wealthy like him. And when he did, I could see him initially trying to help them by giving them money, but what did they do with the money, or they got used to him giving him money? I mean, I kind of understand where he's coming from, but um, yeah, there's a lot that seems to be missing from this story. Like Will said, it's, mm,
Paid Vibe to write this fluff story on him because of all those allegations that we heard about him recently.
Yeah, it's been awfully quiet about those alligators. Interesting.
Hmm.
yeah, haven't heard
Yeah,
much about that.
it's. Yeah, and I'm choosing my words wisely because I don't believe in telling people what they should be doing with the money that they earned, quote unquote.
Right.
It's just pointing out holes, and not the type that he likes, but pointing out holes in the story. It just yeah. But hey, to each their own. Like obviously, he's done exactly what he needed to do in order to allegedly, in order to get to where he is in life to be a billionaire, which is some. I'm not sure if it's something to be applauded, but it's definitely something to be studied.
Mm,
You know, and I think that's true for a lot of successful people. As much as we dislike um, how they potentially maneuver in the world, and we dislike a lot of their choices, I'm a very half glass half full type of person. Like we could all potentially be there one day, And this is essentially showing us how to operate, how not to operate, you know. So it's interesting. It's very interesting how he thought this was a flex.
and why didn't the aunt want to come to work? What kind of person is he to work for? What was the reason?
There you
Was she
go.
just like, I just want him to give me money and I don't work for it? I don't know.
It all the foundation also goes back to what I stated earlier. Is like we don't know how he enabled these people in order for them to feel as though they don't have to work.
Hmm.
That's all part of the foundation. But of course he's gonna leave that out.
Yeah.
And I'm not proud of this, y'all, but I will say here on a recorded line, if I ever get the opportunity to be one of Tyler Perry's actors, the my tone will most certainly change. I would be like, Tyler Perry respects me as a black actor. He has paid me the most I have ever been paid with any of my prize. So listen, baby, y'all look, y'all understand I'm a black actor trying to make it, honey. So and Tyler Perry is one of those. That and Tubi, they say there's no reason to affirm as we already know. Girl, fuck you. Not you saying I'm a bitch with no integrity. How dare you?
Well, let me just say this. If I had a lot of money, like I won the lottery, multiple millions of dollars, a lot of my relatives wouldn't have to work. You know, I I would share that wealth. I really would. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I would. Well, most family members, absolutely, but some of them they better act like they don't know me.
Well, I mean, it might not be all of them, but for the most part, if I got it, you got it too. Because if you've been struggling, in the world just like I have, and have to work, and you're tired, your feet hurt, I would help my family members, set them up with a trust or whatever that they can pay their bills and pay off their homes, and give them a little something that they can build generational wealth on. If I had a lot of $1 million, I would do that. But now, if you
I
just
just have the strangest feeling that Will wouldn't do the same.
really,
Listen,
would it be all
listen
those
here.
tomatoes that's flying through the air?
Like
Yeah.
listen here. I'm not saying shit because listen here. Not that I wouldn't help those individuals. I just live in a world of reality, and I've never been in that position before. So I can sit up here and tell you all the things that I would do and all this and that, but when it actually happens to me, things could definitely change. That's just the way of the world. So mm, I I can neither confirm or deny that I would do those things. I'll let you know when it happens, and then my family will show you what happened.
Well, for one thing, I don't have a big family, so I can say that I don't have, a really large family, so that wouldn't be a lot of people. But yeah, set them up in a home, pay for it, pay their bills, and give them a lump sum of money that they could, live off of, maybe even live off the interest. Yeah, I would do that. If you win like 300-400 million dollars, I would do that.
And Chill, aren't you so happy that we found out we were cousins?
Well, I would help some of my friends too. It ain't got to be family. I would look out for a lot of people because it's hard out here. It ain't nothing like when I was young. People out here can't even buy homes. They can't. They
Yeah.
fighting for survival, especially the way they cutting out services and coming down on these student loans and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. Somebody was a, a, a video came across Twitter where the guy said he was making $4,000 a month taking home, like 4 grand a month. He said his apartment rent was like 2,500. Now $4,000 sounds like a lot of money, right? Like, why are you struggling on that? But you're paying rent, you got a car note, you got to pay utilities, you got to buy food. That
Hmm.
leaves not a lot to have all that. I mean,
It it leaves you with $40.
you know. So imagine the people that's not bringing that kind of money home. How hard it is for them.
Hmm.
Very few people bring it home 4 grand a month.
Yep. We have some comments for many. You also want your money to last for many generations later and to prevent being entitled. So, yep, I guess that's that setting that boundary that they were talking about. Then it says, money changes people. The selfishness, trust, and humility often disappears. And then this bitch hammock of Kate's gonna tell you, Chill, sorry about your misfortune for finding out that we're cousins. Girl, fuck you.
Cousin
Go ahead,
Auntie.
favorite Taurus.
No, I've also noticed that people with perceived wealth tend to take advantage of folks as well. Which is very unfortunate. Like, it's just the constant taking when you have the means. It's very unfortunate. So, but again, I've never been in that position before. Allow myself to be human, live in my humanity. I don't know what that would look like. Not saying that it'll never happen. It very well can. I'm very optimistic about that. However, that hasn't been my lived experience up to this point. So until that happens, I can't tell you one way or another what I would do. Just being honest.
Well, when it does happen, don't forget about your cousin Derek.
We're
Yeah,
cousins.
cousin Will.
Who?
Cousin Will.
Who?
Oh boy.
Well, does anybody else want to add anything about Tyler Perry or anti-union or generational wealth before we go to the next story? Oh, this bitch that got to trim that branch of the family tree. I'm your cousin too, bitch. Now, how about it? Look, we from the Carolinas. You more of my cousin than anybody up in this room, ho. Well, this next story, so it looks like a very like leafy battle has finally come to an end. So I have this story by way of TMZ, Shia LaBeouf, and FKA Twigs. So this was a really nasty battle between these two, and with Shia and his abusive ass. So y'all see where it says here, Shia LaBeouf settles FKA Twigs sexual battery suit. A mess, honey. Look at him, crazy girl. Chill. You see what I see,
Yeah,
girl?
yes, honey.
All
Ace in
on
the
his face.
tree. Yep. I wish
Hmm.
more people knew about
So
that. For real.
Shia LaBeouf is and honestly, that's why I kind of like bring it to. I talk about it like every chance that I get because I think that's something people do need to know about for
Mhm.
real.
Mhm.
Shia LaBeouf is no longer being sued by his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs because we've learned they settled her explosive lawsuit out of court. Shia's lawyer, Sean Holly, and FKA's attorney, Brian Friedman, tell TMZ, committed to forging a constructive path forward, we have agreed to settle our case out of court. While the details of the settlement will remain private, we wish each other personal happiness, professional success, and peace in the future. Girl, stick your middle finger up at his ass. Anyway, new legal docs obtained by TMZ also show FKA Twigs asked the court to dismiss all claims against Shia without prejudice, meaning she cannot refile the case in the future. As we reported, FKA sued Shia back in December of 2020, alleging LaBeouf physically abused her, tormented her, and knowingly gave her an STI. FKA Twigs went on national TV and described the alleged abuse in a sit down interview with Gayle King. And she told Elle magazine it was a miracle she came out of the relationship alive. When his ex sued, Shia told the New York Times, although many of these allegations are not true, I am not in the position to defend any of my actions. I owe these women the opportunity to air their statements publicly and accept accountability for those things I have done. As someone in recovery, I have to face almost daily reminders of things I did and say and do when I was drinking. Now, Shia and FKA Twigs have put this all behind them.
Been a long time coming. I remember that lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, he likes to get fingered. A mess. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
What?
I thought that's what Auntie said. I probably misheard. Anywho, so FKA Twigs, if memory serves me correctly, is it has she been associated with said uh another problematic individual? I'll just say that.
Has she? I don't know about anybody. I know her and Robert Pattinson were a
Yeah, Robert
thing. I don't
Pattinson.
know.
Yeah.
There, I thought there was. I gotta look that up. I could have swore she was connected with another individual. How can I say it's on the recorded line? Uh, with a questionable spine and questionable morals. There it is. There it is. Go me.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think. I don't. I might have missed that one.
Mm.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's But no, and I think what you're talking about, my heavy North Carolina accent. I said she should stick up her middle finger when they were saying like we wish each other a professional and journey ahead and that other bullshit. And I told FK she should stick her middle finger up at Shy's ass
Oh, I thought you
because
said
fuck
in
him.
Shia's ass. Okay, my bad.
Oh no, don't reward him with a good time. He does not need to be rewarded with a good time. Well, on that, did anybody want to add anything about FK Twigs or this crazy motherfucker before we go to the next story?
Let's see. I'm just looking up who she's dated. She's currently dating Jordan Hemingway, a photographer and director. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, me either. He doesn't sound familiar. Oh, it was Grimes. Okay. Yeah, no. Oh God, no. Oh no, I don't think FKA Twigs would ever, honey. That girl, from what I know of her, she's very supportive of the girls and the gays and the dolls.
Robert
So
Pattinson.
I don't think she would ever go that route.
Matt Healy. I don't know who that is.
She dated Maddie Healy.
Yeah.
Okay, well we all make mistakes every now and then. Cause girl.
Yeah. That's all I see.
Ah, well, thank goodness. So yeah, Will was talking about somebody totally different, and thank goodness for that. Except for that Maddie Healy thing, girl. We'll talk about that later. FKA Twigs, Miss formerly known as Twigs.
Oh, Grimes, not Twigs. Okay.
Hmm.
Anywho,
Well, now this next story, I really want Megan Good to stop playing in our faces.
what's she doing?
Child, I have this Vibe article. Let me pull it up here. Y'all see where it says here Megan Good is ready to have kids with Jonathan Majors. Girl. Let me
They
click
have a
this
good
off real
video
quick.
on the timeline.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you see it?
uh-huh, yep, and I have it.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
And we will be watching that because I just want to kind of bring some things to y'all attention, after we go over this. So, Megan Good is allegedly ready for motherhood and excited about the idea of starting a family with her husband, Jonathan Majors. The actress detailed her willingness to have children and launch a new era while speaking with US Weekly earlier this month. I am definitely ready to have kids now, the 43-year-old explained to the outlet. And then my partner is someone I want to really do it with and get excited about doing it with, and who is a phenomenal father already. But now we can do it together. Stupid ass.
The voices,
She
the
could
voices.
she continued to note two would be good when asked how many kids she hoped to have. Majors has a 12-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. Together, the newlyweds share multiple pets. We've got four dogs already. We got four Belgian how you say them? I don't even know.
Malinois.
Whatever the
Malinois.
thank you. Whatever they did. I hate that they have to live in there with these two assholes. But anyway. And they are the hyperest dogs of my life, but the house is very safe. Is it though? This is not the divorcing Black Star's first time opening up about wanting to have children with majors. We've got one technically, so two more will be great, she shared with E! News in April. But I'd be happy with one, too. The two actors eloped in March of 2025 at an intimate private ceremony in their Los Angeles homes, as we know. Good and Majors announced their engagement in November of 2024 and the Ebony Power 100 Gala. On the red carpet, the couple revealed that they were intentional in selecting the event to share the news because it's where they met in the past in the unisex bathroom. Girl, bye. So this video that you was talking about, Chill, where it looks like Jonathan Majors was teasing Megan's stomach. So,
Mm-hmm.
look, exactly the comment. Well, the Will's comment. We're tired. Exactly. So we're just gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this little video clip. And let me just put it's from Instagram. This shit. Every time read something about them, I just get annoyed.
I told you last time I saw a picture of her.
Right, her belly does look fit. Who knows if she's pregnant? I can't call it. Love you. All right, y'all. That's it. Uh, Goodbye.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but I that was very cringy to me. Like, mm-mm. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, tell me if I missed the mark here, but Jonathan Majors always gave off the air of like he was like that cornball kid in high school. But when the black kids finally accepted him, his personality changed entirely. That's what it's giving.
I can see it, especially with the way his like his body is it's giving me like little skinny big headed boy who used to get picked on a lot, and now it's buff, and then he grew up to start being an abusive asshole.
Yeah, but I understand how he's going about it because he figures since he's been in the public spotlight for some controversial things that get people talking, he wants to continue on that narrative because he ultimately doesn't have anything else going on for him. So I can understand why he felt like this would be acceptable. And the thing is, Megan Good has always looked uncomfortable to me in any capacity. He's always looked uncomfortable, which is unfortunate.
She does. She always has that look on her face. But the reason I said that I wanted her to stop playing in our faces because this girl knows she can't have kids. She knows she can't, and I actually have receipts. So you remember how Will you said that you're a bad bitch when you can quote your own tweets. So I'm
Pretty
actually
much.
sharing an old one. I'm sharing an old one that should be coming up shortly. Because it was about Devon Franklin. He was doing an interview crying and stuff, talking about how he missed Megan and all this crazy other shit. So, I'm a bitch who reads all the celebrity tea and stuff, honey. And I'm a bitch with a good memory. So that's what this was the tweet here back in 2023. Devon Franklin says he cried himself to sleep after Megan Good divorce. So I tweeted, "Fuck him and his crocodile tears. I can't prove it, but I think he divorced her because she was having fertility issues." And the reason I went on to say that, so this tweet here, it was December 2020. Megan is working on her fitness, trying to get ready for quote unquote babies. You see here, I'm trying to really get in shape. It's about to be my birthday, and I'm trying to show people what 38 looks like, Megan told her followers. And I'm trying to get ready for babies. I'm trying to be in the best shape of my life so that I can start from a good point and be in a good place when I get to the gym after that. So then the next one, so a year later, December 2021, she says, and I quote, "I did everything that I could to the best of my ability." So, and I clipped this section here. The decision to divorce wasn't hers. The Harlem Star shares in her first Essence Solo cover interview as she details the difficulties resulting from the fallout of her marriage. "It's nothing that I would have ever chosen. And when I realized that it was happening, I was devastated," Good said at 41. "I was like, this is me, Lord. I did everything that I could do to the best of my ability. I don't understand why I did all these things. And then this is my end result." So, and then I say, "I'm no mathematician, but bitch, 1 + 1 = 2." So, I
Yeah,
don't know. That's
that imply
so. What kids are you talking about, girl?
that does imply
Well, maybe they'll
fertility.
adopt.
Well, they may go through some procedures or whatever. I mean, and now she's what, 48 now? It said,
No, 42.
oh, oh, 42.
Either 42 or 43. I think it's 42.
Yeah. Hmm. It could cause
Go
fertility
ahead, favorite
issues.
Taurus. Oh, sorry, boo.
I was just saying it could be more fertility issues the older she gets, if if that's a problem for her. I mean, some women are very fertile; they can have babies at 48 and 50, but not true for all women. That's for sure.
Yeah, the dance lady had her son at 50, and Kiki Y is on child 25. So
Yeah,
anything is possible.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking because of course her previous, I don't want to say engagement, her previous marriage with Devon was centered around heavy religious rhetoric. So I'm not our business, but of course, curious minds want to know, like, if that indeed was the issue at hand. Was it because she wasn't able to carry, or are they against? They're not test tube babies. That's the incorrect terminology.
Ar- Artificial insemination.
That not even, no. It's have somebody else carry it. What's that called?
Uh,
IVF. There it is.
well,
IVF,
IVF
have
is
somebody else,
your own
or
baby
have
if
somebody
you.
else carry it.
Oh well, yeah,
Like her contributions weren't necessarily viable. I'll say that much. Like, we don't know. We don't know. So yeah, Jonathan Majors again did a great job about having people talking. So good for him. Hopefully he can take that energy into something more productive about his life, his whatever's left of his career, and his potential family. So good for him.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Why is he crying if he initiated divorce? What? That's kind of strange. Like, what were the tears for?
Exactly. Y'all asking the right questions. hmm and yes, well, I think it was due to her not being able to care, because you know how when you a man of the cloth for the most part and you marry, you want to procreate, as they say, and I think that was a really really big problem for him. The fact that she could not do it, and especially with her saying that, "Oh, I'm getting my body ready. This is what I really want," and then for her to all of a sudden say, "Oh, well, I tried. I did everything to the best of my ability to
Yeah,
keep that marriage." And go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Because a good religious folk love a good pomp and circumstance and the optics and the egos. So that makes a lot of sense, Auntie.
Yes, indeed. Well, does anybody want to add anything else about these two weirdos before we go to the next? Or hell, three weirdos. Let's include Devon as it. He a weirdo too. Anybody want to add anything else about these three weirdos before we go to the next story? Well, speaking of weirdos, top five. We just talked. You remember we talked about him getting stabbed in the neck when he was over in London. So now it looks like he's allegedly in Paris. So I have this hot new hip hop article, top five all smiles in Paris days after being stabbed. So it's been an undoubtedly long month for top five, but it looks like he's in good spirits despite all he's been through. Yesterday, the Canadian rapper took to Twitter to share a photo of himself posting in front of the Eiffel Tower, and he captioned it Somalians in Paris. The post earned mixed reactions from his fans and peers, but in general, most are glad to see that Top 5 is back to living his normal life with his lying ass. Kanye West, for example, texted him after seeing his latest social media post. No way you made it to Paris, he wrote, as seen in the screenshot Top 5 shared on his Instagram story. I want to know what you're thinking in your brain right now. They know I'm coming, yay, he responded, adding an emoji to indicate that his lips were sealed. Excuse me, his lips were sealed. Like John Wick after they got his dog, the Yeezy founder asks, ha ha ha, you're a soldier. Stupid ass niggas. Anyway, so this is the picture right here. And y'all, I just thought it was funny honey, with that they wrapped around his neck. He looked like a damn fool. But I'm glad to see he's okay and didn't die. Look, top five of what? Oh, listen, okay. I really wish I could tell you, Hood. I've never heard this man's music. I don't know him, but he seems to be very popular, especially with the younger crowd. So, hey, there you go. I guess I'm too old for I'm not his demographic. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
It seems a bit self-deprecating, don't you think? Wouldn't you consider yourself to be top one? Why top five? That's that.
Well, maybe he is Canadian, so I guess he's maybe being realistic. I don't know.
Jesus.
Well, that's that on that. Does anybody want to add anything on his ass before we go to the next story?
What?
I think that was a polite. You clear your throat was a polite way of saying no, thank you. Well, honey, so y'all remember we talked about Sean Kingston and his mama, honey. So now Sean Kingston, well, his mom, she actually wants a lighter sentence, and she's using the "I'm an old lady with community ties" defense to see if that helps. But I have this hot new hip hop. Y'all see where it says Sean Kingston's mother seeks light prison sentence in fraud case. So in March of this year, Sean Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, were found guilty on all counts in their federal wire fraud case. Their sentencing hearing is currently scheduled for August 15th, according to Billboard, Turner is pushing for a lighter sentence. In a court found on July 18th, she asked Judge David S. Leibowitz for a 30-month sentence. This is less than half of what sentencing guidelines recommend, which is anywhere between 60 to 120 months. Even the low end of the recommended range would be far too harsh of a punishment for a 62-year-old with a myriad of health issues and minimal criminal history. Miss Turner will go to prison. She has earned the prison sentence, her attorneys explained. However, a sentence greater than 30 months is a waste of taxpayer resources based upon the history and characteristics of Miss Turner. Uh, in the filing, Turner's team also cites letters from supporters describing her as a pillar in her community and a motherly figure whose home was a refuge. Miss Turner fed the hungry, clothed the less fortunate, and encouraged those who had lost their hope, they claimed. Her generosity and love for others did not have a limit, and she exemplifies a life lived of service to the public.
See, she was
Turner
showing
has
up.
also asked to send her to a prison in the Miami area, which would allow her to receive more frequent visits from her family members and other loved ones. The love and support resulting from Miss Turner's family and friends being able to visit her while in custody will allow her a greater chance of positive matriculation through the prison system, they've added. So, yeah. She said she's a old lady and her community love her. So if you're gonna send me to jail, just send me to jail for 30 months and send me to jail. Put me in Miami, so my people can come visit me.
And I
That's
was
how I be.
fraud, so I could help the community. I was feeding the people. I was doing good with that fraud money.
Exactly. And we have a comment saying she could sit next to Yolanda. Well, that's that on that child.
Every time I see
That,
her name, I think about that documentary. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to shoot her. Oh my God. That just comes up every time. Like, oh my God.
hmm Well, does anybody want to add anything about Sean Kingston, Miss Turner, or I didn't shoot her before we go to the next story?
Well, I mean, if she has a no criminal record before this, then maybe, they do give you a break if it's your first time.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I guess we'll check back in August and we'll see if the judge, if Judge Leibowitz has a heart or not. You're like, no, bitch, we gonna give you all 78.
If
Enjoy it.
not, at least put her near her family. I mean, if they can't do that, I don't have a problem with it, girl.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I don't have a problem with her like, asking where to be because that makes sense. She would want her family to come out and visit her while she's doing her time and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's just the whole her trying to use the I'm a 62-year-old woman with a myriad of health issues. Well, girl, you knew that when you was doing fraud. So go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Well, that depends. Because do we know if she's found has been found guilty on federal or state charges? Because that plays a role as well. Because if I'm not mistaken, on people who have been found guilty of federal charges, they get their rights stripped away. So if that is the case, her petition may be in vain, unfortunately.
Agreed. I'm just doing a quick Google search to see if I can find anything about it. Wire fraud, da, da, da. So it's not telling me if it's oh, well, if it's on the Department of Justice's website, would that kind of leads me to believe that it's federal or I'm
Possibly.
just don't give me the line. Oh Lord, next if it's federal, honey, next thing we know, she's gonna be asking Trump for a pardon. Oh my Lord. Anyway,
I'm looking it up
well,
too.
so yesterday I actually and y'all probably have seen this in the news. I mentioned Dog the Bounty Hunter. His step grandson was shot and killed by his father.
Oh my
And I had questions yesterday. I was like, well, because we learned that they didn't arrest him, and I'm like, because he accidentally shot him. And me and Moon were like, well, how do you accidentally shoot someone? Like, was he cleaning the gun? And then there was no arrest. So that led me to believe that there was more to that story, and sure enough, there is because it looks like he's on suicide watch, and he's on a psych hold now. So I have this TMZ article, and y'all see where it says Dog the Bounty Hunter stepson on psych hold after accidentally fatally shooting his kid. So that's them right there. That's Gregory Zecca and then his son Anthony, who was shot and killed, and that's his wife. How you say her name? Is it Francie? I don't. I haven't watched Dog in a very long time. So anyway, Dog the Bounty Hunter's stepson, Gregory Zecca, has been placed on a psychiatric hold as he grieves the death of his son, who was killed in an accidental shooting at the Zecca residence. A rep for the family tells TMZ Greg has been put on a 5150 psychiatric hold because he is so devastated by the loss of his own son, Anthony, and we're told there were concerns Gregory might try to take his own life. The rep tells us the hold is because Greg is stricken by grief and not because he feels guilty of a crime in retaliation to the shooting. We're told Greg has not been able to speak to family or cops yet because he is heavily sedated. TMZ broke the story. Greg shot and killed his 13-year-old son on Saturday in what we were told was a freak accident. Cops say Anthony was shot in the neck and a gun was found on the island in the kitchen of their Naples, Florida apartment. Police are investigating and no one has been arrested. And then it ends with if you or someone you know is struggling or is in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988 lifeline.org. So yeah, that's very weird. But pretty much is I guess a good old case of complexion further protection. Because if any one of us accidentally shot somebody, they not going. So, oh, Sean is in federal prison. Okay, so thank you for that.
Well, I'm not. I'm looking because I don't know if that's the same Sean King because they're talking about bank robbery. Did he rob a bank?
No,
That yeah, that might not be the same Sean King. And there's only one article in this paywall in the New York Times. So
uh,
yeah, I don't think that's the same person.
go
Huh.
ahead, up favorite Taurus.
Well, to be fair, Joe, he did rob our eardrums. Yeah. Unlike
Oh
another
boy.
person we know with a bad wig. Anyway,
Shut
so
up, Will.
I will not. But on a serious note, like it's not lost on me how, and I'm pretty sure there's a statistic as well. Like this is an increasing amount of stories that we hear of, and I'm pretty sure things that we don't hear of about children losing their lives due to the involvement of a firearm. Have y'all noticed that? Or am I tripping? Because it
Mm.
seems like it's getting increasingly more common to hear a story about a child losing their life when there's some sort of involvement with the firearm. They could have been a target. It could have been an accident. It just seems over the past couple of years, it I really hope that we don't become desensitized, to things like this happening because it's getting really bothersome, if I'm being honest.
Well, the last two children I remember a story about being missing and found dead were murdered by their parents, and one of them was a teenager. I'm like, what? That's kind of unusual.
No,
So,
you are definitely on to something, Will. And I hate to say it, but unfortunately, I think I may be desensitized to it. Like when I see stuff on the news, like I want to say maybe around like especially pre-pandemic, maybe 2019, I would have seen a story like this and be like, oh no, and like my heartstring is tugged. But now I'm just looking at it like, damn, it's a whole nother white life lost to gun violence because they love guns and they love violence. So I think I have been desensitized to it, and I hate that I have. But yeah, you're not crazy. It's definitely it's an influx of shit like that that's happening. These kids losing their lives due to unnecessary gun violence.
Yeah,
mhm.
thank you for that. Because like, hi, am I in the twilight zone? Am I the only person that's noticing this? But no, no. Thank you for validating that because I knew something was up.
Yeah. Well, did anybody want to add anything about these white people before we get into some more white people news?
Where's Beth at?
I think she
I
passed
think she
away.
passed away. She from
She went
cancer.
to glory. Oh
Yeah, she
no.
had cancer.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Y'all, this just reminded me of the Wendy Williams. Like, oh, she passed away? Oh, oh. Anyway.
Y'all going to hell. Going to hell.
Well, so y'all remember not too long ago, I can't remember exactly when, but we talked about Jimmy Buffett's widow and how she was having a nasty battle with her husband's partner or manager that's
Yeah.
been So baby, it's getting even messier.
Oh yeah, they fighting
And I
over
kind of
a lot
figured it
of money.
would.
Yeah.
Yep. So y'all see I have this People article. Jimmy Buffett's widow accuses co-trustee of wasting money, wants to move forward from 275 million estate drama. And they got this from an exclusive source, they claim. So Jimmy Buffett's widow Jane has accused the co-trustee of her late husband's estate of wasting her money in a retaliatory lawsuit over the $275 million trust. According to court documents obtained by People filed in Florida on July 21st, Jane alleges that Richard Mosenter never never has sought Mrs. Buffett's approval in her capacity as co-trustee to use marital trust assets to fund her retaliatory litigation campaign. Ooh, that was a mouthful. Sorry, y'all. Jane, who was Jimmy's wife for 46 years until he died in 2023, is currently the beneficiary of the marital trust. Mosenter was appointed co-trustee of the late singer's trust after Jimmy's death. Jane claims Mosenter has shown little interest in sparing marital trust assets from the high cost of litigating three separate actions, which could potentially drain the trust's resources. Mosenter allegedly used his marital trust assets to fund that litigation without even seeking authorization of his co trustee. Rather than cede to Mr. Mosenter's tactic of wasting marital trust assets by litigating in multiple forums, clearly intended to drain the very asset Mr. Mosenter has fiduciary obligation to protect, all to try to dissuade Mrs. Buffett from continuing to seek his removal, the document claims. Mrs. Buffett now asserts as counterclaims and third party claims the same grounds for removing Mr. Mosenter as co trustee that she originally asserted in her California petition. And that's what we originally talked about. She wanted to have his ass kicked out because he keep playing in her face, so she says. Jane requests the courts to intervene in removing Mosenter from his position as co-trustee over the alleged misuse of funds intended for Mrs. Buffett's benefit. Jane will not play into Mr. Mosenter's hand by litigating this dispute in two separate courts across the country, which would drain the very trust that Jimmy specifically set aside for her care. Matt, poor Mrs. Buffett's attorney from Sullivan and Cromwell, tells People. Instead, Jane is bringing the fight to Florida, where she and Jimmy called home. Jane is confident she will prevail regardless of where her claims are heard, and her decision to move her claims from California to Florida illustrates that she is the only co trustee looking to conserve, not waste, trust assets. Mosenter did not immediately return People's request for comment on the filing. A source close to the situation tells People it's incredibly frustrating to see someone try to take advantage of Jane. All she wants is to live the life Jimmy meant for her after he passed. Hopefully, this ends soon so she can finally move forward. A source tells People that Jane always hoped that Rick would resign, avoiding any need to waste trust assets on litigation. She therefore sent Rick the California petition before she filed it and gave him several days to decide whether to step down. Jane has never been interested in a legal battle over which court should hear this dispute. She filed her petition in California because that is where Rick lives and works, and therefore believed it would be the least objectionable forum for him, the source continues. Jane will win in any forum because the law and facts are on her side. The source adds Jane will not abide the waste of Jimmy's money, which Jimmy expressly directed to be used to take care of her. She has therefore decided to bring the fight to Florida, where Jimmy called home for much of his life, to minimize wasteful litigation costs. Jane originally filed the lawsuit against Mosenter in June to remove him as co-trustee of Jimmy's trust and claimed that he was withholding financial information about that $275 million trust. Jane alleged in June that Mosenter's ongoing failure to act in the best interests of Jane, court documents filed in California state. They also claimed that Mosenter and his attorney, Jeffrey Smith, have been openly hostile and adversarial towards Mrs. Buffett. Mr. Mosenter has failed to perform even the most basic tasks required of him in his role as co-trustee, including providing Mrs. Buffett with information concerning assets and finances, which has left Mrs. Buffett in the dark with regard to the state of her own finances, the filing claim. Jane also claimed that Mosenter refused to resign from his role despite her repeated requests. And that's pretty much a repeat of the story that we went over back in June, so I don't have to finish that. But yeah, it's getting messy. She said, okay, so motherfucker, you don't want to handle in California? Well, okay, we could take it to Florida if you want to, bitch. But you gonna get your ass up out of here if this is the last thing I do.
Well, he is playing in her
So
face. If he's not
he is.
sharing the finances of the trust and information, as a co, she's a co-trustee. He sounds like he trying to pull a fast one on her, take all that money. Sounds
He
like
absolutely
if he
is.
won't, you know, do his part. There's no reason for him not to unless it's something he's trying to hide. So I'm glad she has the wherewithal to handle it. Motherfucker.
Yep, motherfucker. And he really tried to paint her as this bitter widow and stuff like that. Oh, she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know what she was doing. And she was definitely one of the trustees of the estate. And anytime they tried to make any decisions, he always ignored her, didn't ask her for any input or anything. And now trying to use those same funds to sue her.
Right. Him and his law.
Fucker.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It sounds real, real shady.
I don't know, Jane girl. You might need to call some of your cousins, girl. You got some cousins to meet his ass out in the parking lot. Allegedly, allegedly. Well, does anybody else want to add anything on this? I know this is a pretty much some rich people problems that we will never know or see. So,
Well, you still hate to see anybody taken advantage of, you know. And if this man
hmm
left this money for his wife, they were married all that time, and now this fool is not giving her the respect as a co-trustee. That's a problem, even if it is a rich person problem.
agreed. Well, speaking of some other rich white people problems, honey, Harvey Weinstein.
Him again.
Let me get this. Let's get this story. Well, he actually had a lawsuit against his brother, but that has actually been dropped. So I have this Variety article. Harvey Weinstein dropped suit against brother Bob.
Bob and Harvey.
But ooh, he looks terrible. Ooh, good lord, I'm sorry, y'all. That scared the hell out of me, so I know it scared y'all. Anyway, Harvey Weinstein has dropped a lawsuit against his brother Bob in which he accused his sibling of financial betrayal that led to the collapse of his company. Harvey Weinstein is in jail awaiting sentencing after he was convicted in June of sexual assault for a third time. In February, his lawyers filed a counterclaim in a long dormant lawsuit seeking to reassign blame for the demise of the Weinstein Company to his brother and two other employees. Harvey Weinstein was exposed to dozens of sexual assault and harassment allegations in the fall of 2017, leading to his ouster from the company. Fatally wounded, the company declared bankruptcy a few months later, and its library was ultimately folded into Lionsgate. In the counterclaim, Harvey Weinstein asserted that Bob Weinstein and David Glasser took millions in unjustified payments before the bankruptcy, leaving it vulnerable to insolvency. He also accused Ryder, the company's longtime accountant, of failing to stop them. Harvey Weinstein's lawyer filed a notice on Friday that they were dropping the case against Bob, though they are still pursuing Glasser and Ryder, or Reader, however you say that person's name. Harvey's filing of this notice fully resolves the claim he asserted against Bob in this case, said Bob Weinstein's lawyer, Brian Cohn. Bob entered no settlement with Harvey and paid him no consideration in exchange for the dismissal. Harvey Weinstein's lawyers declined to comment. Bob Weinstein loaned the company 11.1 million dollars in a bid to keep it afloat before it went bankrupt. He was not repaid as part of the bankruptcy settlement in 2021. Attorneys for Glasser and Ryder have filed motions to dismiss the case against them as well. Mm-mm. So it does look as if he did try to save it with some of his own money before it went bankrupt. So that's probably why he dropped it. Maybe, who knows?
Or he needs his money for lawyers because he's spending a lot of money on that. So why waste more trying to litigate his brother when what benefit is it going to do him in prison? I mean, it's like, does he have a wife? Does he have children? Is it a legacy for them? You know, maybe he doesn't have those considerations, so he let it go. But no surprise, one brother taking advantage of the other one, especially, you know, of where he is.
Hmm. Well, that's that on that. Does anybody want to add anything before we go to I promise this next one will be our last piece of white people news for today. Then we'll get back to the knuckles, honey.
You promise?
I promise. Look, I love when Harry do that. No, it's
You
the
look,
period after that just kills me.
what Batman character does his brother look like? What's his name? The Penguin.
Oh, not Oswald Cobblepot.
You know,
Yeah, well, he does.
the TV show Penguin, not the the recent Penguin, but yeah, he kind of looking penguinish there.
He does indeed.
Okay, we can move along. Move along.
Well, so you remember when Aaron Piper said that Denise Richards was abusive towards him and some other shit? Her lawyer is denying all that. So y'all see, I have this People article. Denise Richards' lawyer slams her ex Aaron Pipers after he accuses her of cheating, drug use, and physical abuse. With his lying ass. Denise Richards' lawyer is speaking out after her estranged husband Aaron Pipers accused her of cheating, drug use, and physical abuse. In a statement to People, Richards' divorce attorney Brett Berman denied the allegations and accused Pipers, 53, of abusing and harassing the 54-year-old actress. In addition to the repeated abuse perpetrated by Mr. Vipers against Miss Richards throughout the party's marriage, Mr. Vipers has continued to harass Miss Richards since being served with a temporary restraining order. Sorry, by among other things, disseminating private information from Miss Richards' cell phone and laptop, which he stole. The statement read, "These actions continue to disturb Miss Richards' peace. We have warned Mr. Vipers in writing not to disseminate any information from Ms. Richards' stolen cell phone and laptop, but he continues to do so." The statement continues. Ms. Richards will not be responding to Mr. Viper's false allegations in a public forum and will be addressing Mr. Viper's abuse in court. In a response obtained by People, Vipers refutes the claims made by Denise's lawyers. Unfortunately, it seems Denise is experiencing another one of her now infamous upside down jacket moments, and her well paid handlers appear determined to spin it upright, no matter the cost or collateral damage, he said, referencing the appearance Richards made in The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13, in which she wore her jacket upside down. We genuinely hope she receives the help and support she clearly needs. As Denise herself once famously slurred in a less than sober moment, words that now echo with irony, "Stop it, I know what you are doing." Vipers continued, "Nothing was stolen, nothing is missing, except perhaps Miss Richards' moral compass." Try to read her, honey. The statement comes after Vipers claimed in an interview with TMZ on July 19th that Richards cheated on him with another man at the beginning of the year. Viper said that he found out about the alleged infidelity through text messages on Richards' laptop, telling TMZ he discovered selfies that Richards and another man sent to each other, as well as messages where they exchanged phrases such as "sweet dreams" and also indicated they wanted to meet up. Viper said he and Richards decided to stay together after he confronted her about the alleged text. He also accused Richards of hitting him, scratching him, and smashing his phone. On July 20th, Vipers accused Richards of being addicted to Vicodin in a letter to friends and family that was obtained by Page Six and claimed that Richards needs an intervention. For nearly a decade, she has struggled with an addiction to Vicodin, which she jokingly calls vitamin D or white chestnuts, mixed with Adderall and tequila. Vipers said, "Ooh, honey, she know how to party." Okay. Some of you know that this has been an issue for over 20 years. She's no longer eating real meals, and I've witnessed her pass out from substances, putting herself and others in danger, including while driving our daughter, he continued, referring to Eloise, who's 14. So yeah, and I think most of this the end of this is pretty much a repeat of what we already talked about with them. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna get even nastier. Like these two are gonna have a really nasty court battle.
They are.
And
They are.
all because of his ass. Him right here. Vipers. Fuck 'em.
You
I
think
can't,
those drug
I hate.
allegations are true?
I'm sorry. Say it again, but I ain't hear you.
You think those drug allegations are true?
I do. Yeah. I think that might be. I think she definitely is. She parties, has her mommy cocktails every now and then. I definitely don't doubt that. But I think I don't think she's violent. But then again, I don't know this woman. But yeah, we've seen evidence with her. We seen her with black eyes and stuff like that, but we didn't see no bruises and scratches with him. And he already has a cell phone, and he didn't. Those pictures were leaked, but no abuse. So I don't know what to believe. When it comes to him, I don't think he's being abused. I think he's the abuser, and now he's using the court system to try to make things worse.
Yeah, like why didn't he take pictures of his injuries? He had to know this would come up. If he's making these accusations,
Exactly. Remember, he was the one who filed for divorce.
right.
So, well, that was my last piece of white people news for the day. Does anybody want to add anything else before we get back to the nook of signing?
Thank God. Jeez.
Well, back to the nook of signing. Well, half nigga, Canadian nigga, Drake. Now, this is just a quick clip of him. He was at a concert over in Birmingham. The crowd was actually chanting "fuck Kendrick," and he said that he can't. He was like, "Well, I can't not agree." Pretty much. Well, we about to watch. Y'all see what he said. I'm like, "You motherfucker!" He is loving that shit, ain't he? Like it was somebody who had this clip on their Twitter page. Okay, in a minute now. Look, Elon done fuck Twitter up. Why is it so slow, honey? Oh my god.
It's giving dial
Oh,
up.
this is
It's
crazy.
giving um
I
action fire.
hello. I could have went to go fix another cup of coffee by now. Okay, hold on. Let me here it is.
All right, all right, all right. I can't say that I don't agree. I appreciate it. Okay. You want to keep going? Want y'all. I want y'all now. It's the end of the night now.
Ugh, God, he's annoying. I see a comment in the chat. We don't care. You know what? And I was even going back and forth with myself. Should I even talk about this story? I was like, the video clip only about not even 30 seconds. So hell, we can talk about it and get rid of it. But now I feel like I should have just kept. This could have been 30. I could have saved y'all 30 seconds.
This could have been a text message,
Go
honey.
ahead, favorite. Go
So
ahead, favorite tour.
so Auntie, next time you find yourself going back, please go for it instead. Thank you.
I will indeed. Oh, we have a comment. Fuck Drake and his silicone abs. I concur.
But to be fair, I don't see how this is news considering that they're in a Drake centered event going to see Drake, so naturally going to participate or side with Drake. I don't see how this is news actually, but
It's not.
okay.
It's
Look,
mess.
they chose who they look. They chose which side they want to be on over there in the UK. So we'll keep that in mind.
But guess what, Drake? You still lost. Drake still lost.
Hmm.
Beaches. I don't. You all can say fuck Kendrick all you want, but Drake still lost, and there's no change in that.
This, yeah, right. This means nothing. No thing at all. Next.
Well, our next story is about some two rappers. Well, I think one is a singer that I'm sure y'all don't know who these people are because I don't know who these people are. So, but I just found this to be really interesting. So, Anna Mac is claiming that Stunner Girl sent three niggas to have her jumped and robbed.
I've heard of Stunner
Let me
Girl.
pull this up here. Okay.
Heard of. Don't know nothing
Well, yeah.
else.
So y'all see where.
With
Go
these chat,
ahead,
sorry,
Taurus.
with these chat GPT ass names, I don't know none of these people.
Well, y'all see where it says here from the Shade Room Instagram post. You see, Anna Mac says she will take legal action against Stunner Girl after allegedly being targeted in robbery by men she claims were sent by her. And y'all see the caption here. She said, Suzanne Brown, honey, she called her government. Suzanne Brown, I will see you in court. You are a very vile one man. A mess. This is the end of your Stunner Boy tour. Oh girl, the transphobia ill. Anyway, you really went out of your way to send 3 or 4 men at me to rob me and try to hurt me. You are evil and miserable. And then you have them shoot at the house and not have a care in the world if it will it will hurt any bystanders. That to me is evil and sick. I wish you the worst, but you have to live with yourself. Good night, y'all. Thank God I'm okay. And then there's a quick video as well that she says. Let me get that here. Sorry, let me.
The girl had three niggas rob me for my tennis chain. Still gra booming, still getting money. Nothing. Stunner girl had three niggas rob me for my tennis chain.
So Stunner Girl actually responded to this. She put it on her story. See,
Of
that
course.
girl. You see, she got her. I guess the picture of her getting her ass whooped and saying, "See how that works? You laughed at something you had nothing to do with. Now I'm laughing at your situation and laughing my ass off." Then she posted more. And by the way, I'm at home, babes, just playing the same internet games you love to play. You clearly don't know the law. You can't put me in jail for trolling. If that's the case, all of y'all will be under the jail. I know you're sick and spiraling about your situation, but it's entertainment. I don't know what you're talking about. And then she says, keep up with your lies. You just said I wasn't there. You said the people who robbed you didn't run down on you and they wasn't on tough shit. Now you're saying you're scared for your life and making up another story. Good night, Bookie. A hot mess. So both of these girls are in their early 20s, so they are clearly too young for Auntie. So I don't know who they are, but I just thought this was very entertaining. Oh, that's that on that. Does anybody want to add anything to them before we go to? I got 2 more stories left. Okay, y'all, this next story, honey, is crazy. So imagine you were like a 50-something-year-old man, and your son is a rapper. You're 50-old man in jail as a rapper's son, and now your son is gonna be in jail with you for murder, child. So now they're actually using you to testify against your son. It's all crazy, baby. This is all happening to Queso, a rapper outside of Florida. So let me get the link here. And yes, y'all heard his name right. It's spelled Ksoo and it's pronounced queso, like the Spanish cheese. So rapper Queso's
Okay.
murder trial.
So,
I love it. So okay, so his murder trial gets underway with dad testifying against son. So I'm actually going to play a quick video that we're going to watch. It's about a minute and a half long, and then finish the rest of the article after the video. So here it is.
But more breaking news this afternoon. The father of Jacksonville rapper Queso will testify against his own son in a very high profile murder trial. This, according to brand new court records, first reported by First Coast News.
On your sides, Ann Schindler broke the story just a short while ago and joins us from the newsroom. Now, Ann, this is a high profile murder case.
That's right, Keitha. I mean, anytime you have one family member testifying against another, that's a big deal. But in this case, in addition to being father and son, both are reputed members of a local gang that's typically ruled by the code of silence. Now, according to court records, the 51-year-old Abdul Robinson Sr. has agreed to cooperate with prosecutors in a high murder case in which both of his sons are charged. Prosecutors say that in January 2020, Hakeem Robinson, who performs under the name Queso, murdered Charles McCormick, who went by the name Lil Buck. Robinson Sr. was charged as an accessory after the fact in that crime and faced his own murder charge in a separate case. He faces 30 years to life, but if convicted, his cooperation with prosecutors could play a role at sentencing. Queso has helped popularize the genre known as murder rap, celebrating the violent deaths of gang rivals. He's also accused of the murder of Adrian Gaynor, aka Bibby, whose name appears in the viral music video Who I Smoke. Police and prosecutors say all three Robinsons are members of the gang known as ATK, or Ace's Top Killers. Now, Hakeem Robinson has pleaded not guilty. Jail records show that his dad has been moved out of the Duval County Jail, presumably for his safety. Back to you.
Ooh, child. And first of all, I have
Wow,
to say those names. Oh my
that's some mess right there.
child. But it's
Mm,
a hot mess. And then it says the shooting
mm.
occurred in broad daylight outside of Jacksonville Shopping Plaza and was allegedly captured on dash cam video. The trial for Lil Buck's death is running parallel to pretrial hearings in the Bibby case, where Queso is charged with first degree murder. Both killings are reportedly tied to a violent feud between the ATK and the KTA gangs, which have been locked in a deadly rivalry across Jacksonville's hip hop scene. Adding to the melodramatic twist, Queso's father, Abdul Robinson Sr., is expected to testify for the prosecution. He is also charged as an accessory after the fact in the Lil Buck case. In a recorded video with the state attorney's office, Robinson Sr. previously identified his son as the shooter. Robinson Sr. previously addressed his decision to cooperate in a now deleted Instagram post, writing, "If it was me and my daddy, Shaka Tip, in a situation like this, I would have been freed. I would have been free my daddy a long time ago. No matter what my consequences would have been, no justification needed." He continued, "Especially if he's a good, great daddy, that part. He could do more for me out of jail than in jail, prison. Who leave their daddy in jail to rot, especially when you know he innocent?" Queso's brother, Abdul Robinson Jr., is also charged in Bibby's murder and is awaiting trial on second degree murder charges. Authorities believe the killings were part of a string of retaliatory shootings between ATK, aligned with rapper uh, Youngin Ace, and KTA, a group once led by Julio Fulio, who was fatally shot in Tampa on June 13th. The Bibby murder trial is expected to begin in full following the conclusion of jury selection in the Lil Buck case. Just a whole bunch of stupid ass, senseless violence, honey. Stupid and
Just
senseless.
stupid, 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 stupid. And that's I was thinking the same thing. Just stupid. Whew.
But clearly you can see it's generational. This 51-year old man, and trust me when I say I believe, I know, gang life and stuff. I'm familiar with it, but you a whole 51-year-old man doing like gang shit, and then
With
it,
your
it's
son.
right. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Mm,
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
What in the Mad Libs was this story, Auntie?
mm.
And how the hell can you rival games using the same damn letters? What is going on here? I want it all to stop.
Well, I was getting my life off of that lady who was reading. She was like, and oh, what she say? I forgot his real name. She's like, so and so, also known as Queso, who was fatally shot
Right.
another person, so also known as Lil
Little
Buck.
book.
Terrible.
Do they just don't even like their real names no more. Everybody gotta have a street name. Little poo
Yep.
poo, little doo doo, whatever. Come on, man.
Well, y'all know my rap name gonna be Young McReal. Don't
And,
argue, just accept and stream my music.
and why would you want to live a life where you gotta look over your shoulder constantly? Your homies, you can count on two hands how many of those are dead, and what what? Or you go to prison. What is that? The aspiration you have in life? A
Mm.
pipeline to the graveyard or the prison? That makes absolute zero sense to me. Why is that all you see you're capable of?
Stupid. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Hi, Auntie. This is your favorite Taurus speaking. I would just like to add a gentle correction. It's not going to be Young McRib. It's going to be Madam McRib. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
thank you, Madam McRue. See, I thought Madam McRue was my dominatrix name, but I could use it for my rap name too.
I swear.
Well, do y'all want to add anything about these people? Queso, his dad, or his brother, or anybody else who was in this craziness? Before we go to our last story. Okay, well, our last one, we're actually going to end on a good note. So, we're going to talk about some positivity within the hip hop community because some of our favorite legends are being honored, and I love to see it. So let me get the article here from All Hip Hop. So, y'all see where it says Kid and Play, Jungle Brothers, Cool DJ Cool, Red Alert, and more named in the National Hip Hop Museum Hall of Fame honorees. So, Kid and Play and Jungle Brothers will headline a star-studded class of hip-hop legends being honored at the National Hip Hop Museum's Hall of Fame induction ceremony on August 23rd at the Woolly Mammoth Theater in Washington, D.C. And joining them are fellow pioneers DJ Red Alert, Dana Dane, Kwame, Sweet Tea, and DJ Hollywood. The induction isn't just a one night celebration like past events. For the first time ever, the museum is launching a full week of interactive and all ages events from August 18th to 22nd. The programming is in collaboration with the Downtown DC Business Improvement District and the Woolly Mammoth Theater. The free series, dubbed Hip Hop Happy Hours, will include rare artifacts, DJ battles, graffiti competitions, breakdancing, showcases, and daily cash prizes. I'm sorry, not binging, bringing a week long activation interactive exhibit and the National Hip Hop Honors to the historic Woolly Mammoth Theater is an amazing partnership that we're excited about. National Hip Hop Museum founder Jeremy Beaver said, we're grateful to the downtown DC BID for helping to bring some of the biggest hip hop icons to the nation's capital to be honored and perform. Artifacts from hip hop's golden era will be on display during the happy hours each evening. Highlights include original gold and platinum plaques, worn stage outfits, vintage posters, and KRS One's Hip Hop Declaration of Peace. Master G, known as a member of the Sugar Hill Gang, told All Hip Hop, this will be one of our most memorable induction ceremonies as we honor Kid and Play on the 35th anniversary of their movie House Party. Their cultural impact on American music cannot be overstated when it comes to music, movies, dance, and cartoons. You better say that shit right, okay? Give them their flowers. So here's the breakdown of things that they're going to have. That's again free to the public. So if you're in the DC area, I would highly recommend because I would definitely go out there if I was there. But says the venue will transform into a hip hop hub from noon to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, kicking off the Beat Conductors Beat Battle hosted by rapper Big Poop. Shout out to Big Poop. That's North Carolina right there, Al, and Apollo Brown. Simultaneously, the National Hip Hop Museum DJ DVS will sculpt a cake into a custom hip hop dessert, while resident artist Kevin Sean Lewis paints live tribute pieces for each inductee. At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the red carpet will open for press and VIPs, followed by a podcast featuring the inductees, hosted by Grandmaster Cass. A formal reading of the mayor's proclamation by DCBID President Garen Price and a spiritual blessing by Dr. Ansel Preach Augustine will precede the 7 p.m. Eastern Time induction ceremony. Hosted by Master G of the Sugar Hill Gang, the event will feature speeches by DJ RBI and Jay Quan and fashion presentations from the National Hip Hop Museum fashion director Neil Taylor with handcrafted medallions by Bucky Davis. The night concludes with a concert featuring performances by Dana Dane, Kwame, Jungle Brothers, and DJ Red Alert, and a headline set by Kid and Play. And then you can buy the tickets for the concert can be found at nationalhiphopmuseum.org. But this is the flyer that they have going around. And I love to see it. Please honor our legends, honey. Let them know that they are not forgotten. Especially when you have people like motherfuckers like Queso and shit like that out here dominating the news. We want to see some good hip hop news every now and then. So and when I tell y'all I am a huge, huge, huge Kid and Play fan, and all because of House Party and Class Act. Just like the true black millennial I am. So yeah, shout out to these people. I love to see it. Well, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So, did anybody have any tea that they want to share? Any tea that I may have missed before we head out? Oh, go ahead, Therator.
Well, I don't have any tea, but I had a question about what you just read. So, do you know if the National Hip Hop Museum Hall of Fame honorees is regional, or do you think they're going to honor all hip hop artists across both coasts, or across the nation? Do you know?
To be completely honest with you, from the names, it's looking real regional. But from all the names, it's looking very East Coast. So but I, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to see like the people like Too Short and his big ass dick come on through. Shout out to Too Short and his.
Christ.
Well, I'm not the one who said Claudia Jordan was the one who put that tea out there.
Well, Auntie, you didn't have to repeat it.
I'm not the news. I just read it. So we know what's on him that's not too short, according to Claudia Jordan.
Mm, mm, mm.
But yeah, who else? I was about to say Ice Cube, but he not on my list right now, so we're gonna let him.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Give us a yo-yo. Give us a DJ Quick. Give us a hell, even a Mike Jones. Like spread it out a
Yeah,
little bit across generations. You know.
yeah, you're right. Other than Big Pooh, like it did look like it's like focused on the Northeast when it came to these artists. But
Hmm.
hey, maybe the ones in the later years will honor a few more of our across all of celebrating every last one of us in the Americas. So who knows?
Right. Yeah, but I also hope that with this these inductions, it brings new life and brings new visibility to their contributions to popular culture. You know, and they get like a rejuvenized well, how do you want to say that they get more focus in terms of like popularity and social media all over again, just to kind of bring to the forefront their contributions and how they still influence artists and people of today. You know, that would be ideal in my opinion.
Amen. I agree. I agree. Well, thank you for waking that up, Will, because look, I ain't want to say nothing, but I did notice that and that's why I mean, to me, that kind of because you know how they say like hip hop was born and raised or born and created in the Bronx. So I was kind of thinking that it was to honor that and that like the people who were around that time. That's why I got, but I could be wrong. Again, with the exception of Big Pooh, because he was part of the that iconic North Carolina rap group Big Brother. Along with him, Fonte and um, Ninth Wonder. So shout out to them legends. But and again, was there so I already know Will don't have any additional tea, but does anybody else have any tea they want to share? Anything I might have missed? All right, y'all. Well, it is always a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and sip tea with me. Now, if all goes according to plan, I will be back tomorrow for a live show at 12:30 Eastern Time. So please join us if you can make it. In the meantime, you all have a fabulous rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.